My name is Mohammed Rashi, and abantu hlezi becabanga ukuthi alikho isulumane elumuntu omnyama likhona actually living in a small area called the Fingam in Durban. I don't have a Zulu name. People always ask me a question if I have a Zulu name. No, I'm a born Muslim. A lot of people have stereotypes. Like I, for one, as an individual, I show people that no, as a Muslim, you can still live your life as a normal person. But it doesn't mean that you have to be caged up, but there's certain rules that you have to follow in the Islamic religion. Because there's certain things that we don't do. We don't drink, we don't eat pork. It's considered as haram. There's halal foods as well. So it's nothing complicated. It's just that people just need to have a finer understanding of the whole Islamic concept. I was born a Muslim from birth. My dad was a Muslim, so my mom converted into Islam. We grew up as Muslims, we learned the culture, we went to schools, we went to Muslim schools, and we just grew up knowing everything about Muslims, and it's a nice religion. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Growing up as a child, like when we moved from Chatsworth to Avoca Hills, I always had a problem because when I was a small boy, I always talked English. So Zulu, I was nowhere near close to even understanding what people were saying in Zulu. So I had to adapt to that style now because I was the one, when people are saying, I'm like, okay, and then what's being said now? And then I'd have to, because they're all going that way, I'd have to go that way. Even if they were going to do something wrong, I'd also follow. So I learned to adapt to that, and they were very judgmental, like, hey, some of them, on a normal day when I'm working, like, I don't dress up in my full Islamic gear. I just dress up with a t-shirt, a pants, khakis, and I go to work. Like, no one will know that I'm a Muslim up until they hear Mohammed Rashi and they're like, wow. There is a perception that Muslims, when people see Muslim, people think of bombs, people think of people killing each other, people think of people raping each other, which is not true. Because I believe, I'm not saying this to anyone, but I believe Muslims are people that believe in something called, you know what, let's be one. They'll never harm the next person, you understand? Because we pray to our God, which is Allah, every day to, like, you know what, restore humanity, do this, do that, you know?
Samurani, welcome to Daily Thetha. Igama lami nguKini Shandu namhlanje sibuka a black Muslim la eNingizimu Afrika. If uzokhumbula kahle ngo-2015 there was a hashtag eyatrenda kakhulu black in MSA. Abantu abaningi bafunda akuningi about Islamic religion, but namanje kusenembuzo yahlukahlukene abantu bazibuza ukuthi umuntu omnyama ungena kanjani enkoleni yama Islamic religion, kuza kanjani because fuze ngabe ukulezi inkolo esijwayele. The question esibuzayo ukuthi ngabe ngempela kumele yini size sizibuze izinto ezifana nalezo, but namhlanje kusho sobe sifundiseka about ama-Muslim angabantu abamnyama. Abanye babo bakhuluma isiZulu njengami nawe, bazobe sichazela ukuthi bangena kanjani kule nkolo, abasabi yini, because there's recent attacks ahlukahlukene kuma-mosque. We've seen what happened in Old Tower, Everlem, abantu abaningi namanje basathukile. Bathini bona about that? Is this something ebabhodarisha ngaleyo ndlela, or enye izinto abangenandaba nayo? Let's learn and find out exactly about Islamic religion, especially kubantu abamnyama njengami nawo.
Dumelang nna ka lebitso ke nna Nicolette wa Mashile, ngwana wa kwa Bush Patrice Mapulaneng a tolokang ka matsogo yone ke sesi Fortune wa Madlala. As Kini is already said, re level taba di black Muslims re nyako tsheba rona ba phela bang bophelo ba bona, because we know gore culture ne batho ba bantu, it's a very different culture. Gona le go rathabela, there's a whole lot of things that happen. So ba ifita beyond within the strict Islamic faith, and that's what we're trying to get a better understanding of. Gona go apariwa byang, go jiwa ying, mo dintlong tsa bona ba bla ka ying, what do they teach their children? I think that for us is very important, because we understand that at the end of the day, Muslim as a religious faith is not about race. But we need to get a better understanding. Also, kill a bit of stereotypes, perhaps, and myths that people have about the Islamic faith. So please do send us any of your questions, your opinions. If you are no and you are a black Muslim, send us any of your comments, your questions, comments. And if there is something that you would like to correct in society, today is the day. Thetha platform yon. Talk to us on any of our social media pages. Just use the hashtag DailyThetha or you can phone 011-339-1315. But for now, let's welcome our studio audience.
Nicolette, and find out from Abafeta Bakona German studio Guti, how much do they understand about this Islamic religion, especially to us Abanta Bamnyam?
Yes, and then just as Kini's already asked, what do you know about the Islamic faith? That's number one. And number two, would it be something you consider converter?
Sanbonani, my name is Precious Lamini. What I know about the Muslim culture is that it's a very restricting culture, especially for the women, with regards to the way that they dress. They have to cover their bodies and their faces. And to answer your question, would I convert? Well, no, I wouldn't, because I was raised under Christian culture, and to convert now would confuse me, so I definitely wouldn't go for it.
It's a culture. Culture religion. I just want to get a better understanding, because culture, it's a totally different conversation. So go and culture.
I think for me it's more of culture, because it's a way of living.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's very interesting. I think that's what we're trying to find out. Unpack all these things that we perhaps as the people on the outside might not understand.
And yes, abantu abaningi ukuthi why ngumzulu ngihlala elokishini ngizithole senguthi sengangena kwinkolo yama-Muslim or Islamic religion, and I do have offense next to me, and uzobe sichazela ukuthi izona ziphi izathu ezamenza ukuthi convert. Usanda convert ngoJanuary, right?
Yeah.
Phambisela microphone ya convert.
So ukonverta kwami mina bengiphuza kakhulu, and then into engibonile kaSlami society yethu as black people, sikucala ama drugs ne alcohol, because there's a lot of unemployment. And then by the time you're converting they taught me how to grow, and then ngafidi solia. So I'm growing up to be a responsible man right now, and they taught me Ummah, where we unite and help each other, and there are times to do that, which is zakah. Okay. So angikho sure.
Converting ngoJanuary.
NgoJanuary.
Okay, so for January lo wonke awukazuphuza utshwala.
Angakuphuza utshwala.
Okay.
Singimile, and then
umile noma uyekile.
So angekelile, and then konara they promote ukuthi mele sifunde. They give us knowledge ukuthi even though ungasebenzi, but you have to have something in there so that you can help yourself. We can't be going around all the time to sebenzela abanye abantu. Yet unama skills. Okay. So that, like I'm happy for myself. Angiyandaba ukuthi uba nothindi kanjalo.
Let's find out what's happening on social media, Nicolette.
Kini, we've got a social media on Facebook coming in from Sanele Penwell. Yes, it is money. If a rich Muslim man wants to marry her, they would rather convert and pretend for years, while deep down they know they are not into his religion, but into his money. Daryl, these are some of the misconceptions that get thrown around about, the Islamic faith. Perhaps maybe you as an ordinary person might have something that you also need a bit of clarity on today. This is your opportunity.
Good morning. Yes, for sure. I think for South African citizens seeing what's going on around the world, obviously we have a safety concern. So the misconception, perhaps, I don't know if it is, we'd like clarity, is safety.
Okay.
How do I know that sitting next to a Muslim with a bag that I'm safe? At what point does their religion go to say, this is where I'm taking it to a point where I'm actually putting other people's lives at danger?
Okay.
So without stepping onto other people's views or oppressing other people, where does that come in?
All right, and I think that's the most important thing about today's show. All these questions, all the questions that we've got as people, as ordinary South Africans, solid answers, because sometimes we laugh, but most of us are thinking this.
We're giving youth to be in charge. So now any question of Sibuza or anything of Fundisa as well. As I say, breaking after this. Welcome back to Thetha. Namhlanje sibuka about being a black Muslim learnings in Africa. This is a show where sizofundiseka khona. All the guests are khona zobezama ukuthi asicatulise so that by the end of the show sekukhona esikufundile about Islamic religion, especially kubafowethu esinabo on the couch. Guys, let me start by welcoming Umthokozi Masego. Welcome to Thetha mfowethu.
Thank you very much, sir.
As well as Sister Rosanna Ramatena from Oisport organizer as well. Welcome to Thetha. Let me start with you, Mthokozi. Akujwayelekile to see a Muslim osasebenzisa igama lakhe nesibongo. We often think ukuthi mawusuke ungena kwi Islamic religion, you need to change your name ube Mohammed or any other name or Rashid. Kuza kanjani? Awusithathe lapho mfowethu.
All right, so first of all, thank you very much for having me here. Well, you see, Islam as a religion, generally it encourages ukuba namagama amahle. So in most cases, we find that when people become Muslims, they also prefer to have a new name, right? Because in general, thinking that, in general terms, the Islamic or maybe the Arabic names, they are perceived and understood to be the best of names. But when you have a beautiful name,
like
Mthokozi, it's still as Islamic because of the meaning that it has.
I see.
You know, so it's not about the name, it's about the character of an individual. You know, so you'll find that across the world, there's various types of Muslims from different nationalities, etc. You know, but the character is what binds us all as people of the same faith. And with that, also encourages the people to have the similar names that goes along the same what to call this pattern and Arabic names. But having a name ligama lesizulu noma leswati noma igama of any other language, which is beautiful, and it's a beautiful name. You can
so even your kids can have like Swati or Zulu names. I thinking alap.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
All right, Sister Rosanna, you converted?
No,
you were born.
I was born Muslim.
All right, and knowing everything else that you know, all the other religions, whether in South Africa or not, what has kept you within the Islamic faith?
Okay, I like to tell people that I became a Muslim only after understanding the faith.
Okay,
even though I was
born, it's not automatic.
Yeah, it's not automatic because at any time you can change. You learn so many things as you grow up. Because and there's so many things going on. A lot of Christians in our neighborhood, we were the only Muslim family.
Okay.
So, Raja, we go to madrasa. At 3 years old, that's when I started madrasa.
Okay.
Madrasa it's like Sunday school, but it's an everyday thing for Islamic studies.
Okay.
Yeah. So we keep on learning that as Muslim kids, and every time you walk around, you're in your little burqa, in your scarf, in your cloak.
Yeah.
And when you walk around, people are busy calling, hey, likula, likula. As a child, that actually damages you. But you're like, okay, let me try to learn what this faith talks about. So the moment I learned, the moment I understood, that's when I became a Muslim. That's when I said, okay, now I'm a Muslim, and now this is what I'm going to stick to, no matter what people call me, no matter how people see me.
Okay.
As a correct igama lelo elisebenzisile human Indian akusile igama elungile ukuthi singalisebenzisa emphakathini. Ngiunderstand ukuthi abantu babelisho but alamukelekile. Sister Rosanna, let me come to you. We often see abo sister bama Muslim bafihla ubuso. Why is that, and why when ungafihla?
Okay, that's a choice. That's a choice because it's not a must for women to hide their faces. A lot of people have this misconception that you hide your face when you're married. I'm married and I'll never hide my face. I don't think.
Why not?
Because, okay, we live in South Africa, and already being a Muslim, it's quite difficult for a woman.
What are the difficulties? Perhaps maybe with Mthokozi, so we can chat about them and have an open conversation.
Yeah.
You talk about these difficulties, and we would like to go deeper into them later on into the show. But now that you've mentioned them,
one of the difficulties that I went through is with the xenophobic attacks.
Okay.
When they happened, people assume that you're not from South Africa. So having to tie your scarf like this again is another difficulty that, okay, every morning you're sitting there like, should I tie my scarf like this? When I go out, will I be safe if I tie my scarf like this? So you have to make a conscious decision of tying your scarf like that, knowing that outside I might not be safe. Things might happen to me.
You talk about a conscious decision. Maybe let's bring Putim Togozisi. Is it a conscious decision every day Islam?
Yes, I think, I mean, in this country, it's there's no choice but to be conscious. I mean, I don't think you can be a Muslim by default in this country. I particularly of a set, also kulile, you know, or maybe of our age. So you can't be a Muslim by mistake because there is so many, you know, things that you come across, which some of them make you to actually question yourself, your faith. Some of them makes you to question the faith itself, and some of them makes you to question the direction that you are heading to. So it's not, I don't think it's possible for, you know, for somebody that is an, you know, an adult for me to say that can be a Muslim by default.
Okay, before we take a call, Sister Rosanna, I want to find out, you said kulele lokshin, gulepi lokshin kulele.
We do going in Rustenburg.
In Rustenburg?
Yes.
They call a mosque around there?
There
was a mosque?
Yes, there was.
Okay, let's go to Malika and we get Witbank. Malika, welcome to Daily Thetha.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ikona loko na sisonjana na tiloko kushoyintana sisonjana sikho
sawubona Malika
yebo minyama kodwa siyayikhuluma le language
ayi siyabonga.
Tell us something lo ufuna ukusitshela yona about inkolo lo okuyona ungene kanjani kuyona, were you forced or by default kwenzakala na awusathe through?
Oh, thank you. First of all, there's no compulsion in Islam. Awukwazi ukuforce umuntu ukuthi angene ku-Islam. It's up to yena noNkulunkulu no Allah. So mina, I converted through marriage. I've been with my husband for 7 years. But I've been a Muslim for a year now. The reason why I converted later is because I converted to please him or to please anyone around.
Okay.
I had to know more about Islam. I had to make research because I'm from a Christian background, you see. So you cannot just follow for the sake of following. You must know what you're following and you must understand it. So
Malika, ngiyayithola leyo point, but khona into engifuna ukuyibuza la, abantu abaningi especially abangazi ngenkolo yobuIslam banokuthi abantu besilisa abangamuslim bayabaforsa abesifazane ukuthi bangene kule nkolo. Mhlambe leyo nto esuke ikhulunywa ungayichaza uthina mampunge noma nawe into okwayibona yenzayo?
No, I've never seen that with me. Personally, I've never. Even my husband always told me there's no compulsion there. But I'm willing to get married and spend the rest of my life with this man. I will have to convert. Okay. That's why it took me longer to convert, so that I could understand and
all right. Siyabonga Sis Malika.
Thank you.
You know what's interesting? The gentleman here spoke about how he wanted to change his life, and that's the reason why he converted. Sis Malika, you know, that kind of moved her into converting. Perhaps maybe as somebody that's born into the Islamic space, Rosanna, what are some of the reasons why people would convert?
What are the reasons people would convert?
Yeah.
Okay, truly speaking, if you read the Quran and you see the beauty in it, that's when you'll convert.
Okay.
Because if you don't see any beauty in it, you won't convert, trust me. My extended family is Christian, fully Christian, and we had to see the similarities into both the religions to be happy with the religion and stay in it.
Mhlawumbe mthoko ungangena la ekuthenini from abantu abaningi abalifundi iQuran yini le kangaka about Quran that will make omunye umuntu ukuthi convert? A quick one before the break.
Quran is it's the interesting. There's many themes, various themes in the discussion of in Quran. But one of the outstanding things that joins all these themes, you find that is the oneness of God and the independence that it gives you as a worshipper or maybe as a follower of Islam that connects you with God directly. Because when you become a Muslim, then you understand that it is me and God. Everything that I do, it's about me and God. So there is no maybe, you know, somebody in between, middleman or anything. It's you and God. So I think that independence also and the direct, you know, connection with God also has, you know, a strong impact on that.
Okay, interesting. I think what's more interesting, maybe we can ask this question if we go is this something that you would consider? Hearing the beauty of the Quran and the actual Islamic faith, would it be something that you can consider converting into Islamic? Please do stay with us after the break. Welcome back to Daily Thetha. Black Muslims. What are some of the things that are different, perhaps, from Rune who are not Black Muslims, and get a better understanding of some of their challenges, and can we speak about them, and also perhaps maybe get a better understanding because sometimes in society it's the people that prejudice you, right? It's not necessarily the religion, and because we've got sentiments and we've got perceptions, no, Muslim women must be oppressed, because we don't have a good understanding, and that's what we're going to be tackling today with Neo Kambule Moyeni and then also Miriam Puti. Welcome to Daily Thetha.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Let's jump straight into the conversation. This perception, you know, something that we've made up because our understanding of the Islamic faith. And I'm speaking to you specifically, Dineo, because you only converted at age 16.
Correct.
Right? Were you afraid of what might come with the religion?
Not what might come with the religion per se, but with people's perceptions of the religion.
Okay.
When I converted, I was in a community, it was an African-American community because I went to go stay with my sister. And just looking at the young people in Texas, Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And what made me, before I even converted, I was just intrigued by the responsibility that 15, 16-year-olds would take in their communities, try to reform it and try to break the social ills that exist, because I just believe no matter where you are in the world, Black people still go through the same injustices, you know, still go through the same struggles. So for them to take on that responsibility to say, okay, this is my faith, how am I going to represent it in a way, what responsibility do I have as a person? Because I think the main message that is spoken in most religions is that you're supposed to serve, you know, and you're seeing these young people, young men, 15, 16, you call them boys, but, you know, behaving in such a manly way, taking on the responsibility of reforming the community was what I was intrigued, you know, or interested in, which then led me to study the religion. And, you know, even though my sister had converted before, but I wanted to know, what is it about this religion that's causing this age group that's supposed to be so rebellious at this age, being so calm and composed and collected and responsible? So that's what.
Before I go to Miriam, let me ask a personal question.
Okay.
Is that part of a religion? Would you guys not allowed to impending?
Oh, you know what? There's always been a debatable type of thing going on in our religion. Sometimes I do paint my nails, but the ideal behind it is that you're always supposed to remain in a state of purity, and that purity, what we do, we pray 5 times a day. So we do something called ablution, and it's supposed to most guys are it's supposed to touch the actual because layer of nail polish, so which would mean that you are not in a state of complete purity to perform your prayers. So you'll find that now they've got these new advanced technology. It's breathable nail polish, and all of that. But you know, it's one of those things. It's human error, you know, that and opinions.
Madam, let's come to you as well, because sikhuluma about enye into ama communities, abantu basabe ukuthi families, communities sometimes ibona abakwenza ukuthi ube nengcindezi. Was it easy for you, especially in your community or in your family?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I prefer you speak Sotho or English, because I don't understand Zulu. All right, so the challenges, I would say, they came mostly from my extended family, because my nuclear family are all Muslims. And apart from the extended family, it came from the outside community, the people around. So, yeah.
Having been so well-traveled, and I'm going to ask this question as direct as possible, do you feel that Muslim women are oppressed?
No, not at all. The Muslim women are not oppressed at all costs. In fact, they have more rights that you can't even believe. Like if I'm about to list them, you can just be surprised. So it's just that protection that Islam gives the Muslim woman is overwhelming, that other people view it as oppression, but they in the it's actually the protection for the Muslim woman.
We have a question that comes from Muketla, and I believe my brother can answer the question. Don't have a microphone on the side, but anyone for that matter. Ketla, you wanted to ask something about Marikalis.
Oh yeah, mina ngukhetla okankosi straight from Mamelodi. Mina more I'm not going to talk much about the conflicts and the religion as I'm more into the fashion, what they wear. I can agree with most people here. Muslim people wear nice clothes. If it's not the attire, it's the material. The material is very good. As you can see,
because of time.
Yes. You see in other churches like Gubo ZCC and so, there are certain garments which I was talking on my group. So I want to know, are garments, do they have like rules? I can wear this here, I cannot wear this there. Can I go with it or not? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. I think in the issue of garments, it has to do with you as a Muslim. I mean, if you are a true Muslim, why would you want to go to a party with your Islamic attire, even if maybe you wanted to go to a party, and get to do things that the rest would be doing? Not that it's wrong for you to attend a celebration of any sort should you be invited by family or friends, But our attire, it's not, it doesn't go through all these sacred processes like other churches will do to say, at this stage you wear this because of now you are ordained, therefore no one can touch this because now they are not yet ordained. We don't have those rules. But because
as a designer, can he just design one of your regalias?
Yeah, you're more than welcome, because remember, it's all about modesty. He's a designer, and what is most important, people, remember, you are young, you are creative, you are youth, and you are in this space. And for whatever reason, sometimes you may be a Muslim and you want to design this attire. There's nothing wrong. As long as it's modest, it's beautiful, and most importantly, it can fit well within the African context, which is what we need in this country. Alhamdulillah.
All right, that's very interesting. We've got a social media coming in from Sharon Shezimukwena Are. I wouldn't convert to Muslim because I always want to wear what I want, not what my husband tells me to wear, like those long dresses that cover everything from head to toe. No, I wouldn't. Again, coming back, ladies, I can really both of you guys this perception, you've already spoken to Smeram Katabar, it's protection, the religion, but there is still this idea everything your husband says must go, even an idea perhaps maybe we can clarify that issue.
I think that's when hijab is seen as patriarchal, where the misconception of it, when it actually isn't. When you speak to majority of Muslim women, none of them, actually I haven't heard one who would tell you that I've started to cover up because my husband told me to. We do it by choice, we do it by understanding of why we're supposed to cover up, not listening to...
What is the why?
The why is just that, even in more bigger African culture, uklonpheka as umuntu wesifazana ukuthi uzethwele ukavarile, and even if you look at Christianity, it also has a chapter where it speaks about how a woman is supposed to dress. So all of these themes about dressing in a respectable or respectful manner, rather, so that whoever comes to interact with you will already have a sort of a guard. So I can't just, I don't know, because of this ill patriarchy that exists, your dress code automatically gives people certain perceptions about who you are. So all of these things are obviously they're going to be carried out from century to century. Islam is, I'm not going to call it founded, but it's been around for a while. A person, after I converted, I realized, Guti, the way that men approach me now is very different from back then.
What's so different about it?
Just the respect from it. No one because they understand, just because of the way I'm dressed, already sebafika with a certain way that they're going to approach me, and women that have converted later, even much older, like in their like 20s or 30s or whatever, they'll always tell you about that same experience. You know, something strange has happened since because you know, it's one of those, it's those type of things, but it's got nothing to do with our husbands. I mean, even my husband I already converted by the age of 16. I met him later, but he does not have any say in my dress code at all. Okay. You know, and I think everybody has the same experience.
I think good thing but now if there's something oyifundayo or usuyaziyo ufuna ukusitshela yona sitshele as well ukuthi uthini umbono wakho ngusifonela ku 01133911315 asambe siyokhokhela eyitolo sibe sikhuluma nenkulumo yethu esinayo namhlanje. Welcome back to Daily Thetha. Namhlanje sibheka about the black Muslims and into esifuna ukuyazi ziningi kakhulu I see on social media baningi abantu abakhuluma into ezahlukahlukene omunye ubuza ukuthi ni recruiter kanjani guys as if like it's triple M. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. So that these guys are going to be talking. We do have Utapelo njengamanje who's Utapelo Amat who's a PR counselor of All Jamaa. That's the organization I represent. Welcome to Daily Thetha.
Thank you very much and I'll also like to wish all Muslims a happy Ramadan and a prosperous one.
Today?
Yeah, probably today. It will depend on the sighting of the moon.
Okay.
Yeah, but
how many days after that?
It's 29 days or 30 days because we're using the lunar calendar, not the solar. Okay. So it's when our calendar is 30 days or 29 days. Yeah. Yeah. So if we don't sight the moon on the 29th day, then we will fast an additional day, which is the 30th day.
What do you guys
from
do
there we pray.
Fasting? Take us through because I'm
the cycle of fasting, right? It's quite interesting because even the Quran, the Holy Quran, was revealed in the month of Ramadan, right? So we abstain. We abstain from eating. We abstain from things which are permissible to us. Okay. During the month of Ramadan, it's a process of training, like self-rehabilitation, right? Out of Ramadan, when there's nothing that is like, lack of a better word, if there's nothing that is, I don't want to say policing, but Ramadan would be like a month that is policing all the Muslims because you refrain from wrongdoing, you refrain from all the bad things, including the good ones, right? Yeah, because it teaches you a discipline. Okay. Yeah, it teaches you a discipline. Come again?
Do you go to work?
Yeah, you do work like ordinary person. You play soccer if you are a soccer player, or you can play sports. Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's normal.
Tapel, I just want to get into the conversation. You know, we've spoken quite extensively, I think, the Islamic faith itself. Yes. Can we speak a little bit now, the experience within the Islamic religion? Because sometimes people, you know, some Islamic people from everywhere else, so maybe the Arabic guys, the Desi guys who say, you guys can't be Islamic because you're black.
Not necessarily. Islam is a universal religion, right? There's no exclusion of culture or race. You understand? I would like to conform mostly. I see myself as a black African Muslim, right? Because according to the affirmative action, Indians are black also in South Africa in our context. Yes. Colors are black. Yes. You understand? Now I would conform to be a black African Muslim.
So you add in that African.
African, yes. Okay. But there would be maybe black Asian or right. So you find white people in Islam. You find Islam in Texas. You find Islam in China. And whatever model that we follow, which is the Quran, is the very same interpretation. There's no different interpretations.
Can I tell you why? Sorry, Kini, why I asked this question? In 2015, there was that the hashtag Black in MSA, right? And there is a sentiment that within the Islamic culture, black people are perhaps also feeling some level of prejudice, and we want to know today if that's true or not. And maybe my brother, you can respond for us.
Assalamu alaikum. Manqale ndibulele. Ndithi inceba nomusa kamdali makabe nane igama lami ndingusiyamanga Ali igama lami ndingusiyamanga Ali rahmatullah ndisuke eThembisa mina aniboni sisiba ikhona into enjalo because mina when I recruit to Islam sandingazi kwanto ngeIslam then ndathi xa ndiba Muslim like ndafeel so welcome to Islam and then I find out ukuba there were black people before during the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam like Abu Hazrat Bilal the umusa kaThixo benaye so ndafeel welcome kuba ndibona ba like andingokuqala
recruit obani
yo story sami like mina sisi ndandihlala emakhaya then like ndandingumntana like na kungalungi yabo sisi so like ndandasuswa emakhaya ndaziswa apha into Islamic boarding school so that's how ndalandwe Islam.
And how old were you?
I think I was 13 years.
Okay, that's interesting.
Thapelo, let me come to you. Maybe Sistine as well ungaphendula lo mbuzo. Kune perception kubantu ukuthi abantu abakwi Islamic religion they are rich. So most people who go in there, you hoping that you'll be rich as well. Is that the case, or have you seen such a trend as well, or intentionally?
Not necessarily. See, in our context in South Africa, Islam is perceived to be a religion of mostly Asian brothers, right? But however, Islam teaches social justice, right? So we look after each other in Islam, right? Yeah. So people do not convert to Islam, those who have converted or revert to Islam based on the economic issue. Right, yeah. People solely convert to Islam because of the faith or maybe finding themselves because...
Yeah. But before ngiyayithola lento echaza and uyaphendula umbuzo wami but Sistine mhlawumbe kwewezwa abantu bathi you guys will convert because there is a rich man every religion and now you find yourself in that religion.
When you look at abantu that dominate the Islamic world in South Africa, you will find most of them your Asians or Amandia who are still currently seem to have in a better financial position than so-called South or abantu abamnyama. So you'll find because of certain luxuries abanazo, it might seem the whole religion inemali, whereas it's just the economic privilege that they have had that might be translated ngokuthi ama Muslims anemali, because you'll still find every type of class of people baya exist within that Muslim or amongst Muslims. You'll find abantu aba wealthy, you'll find abantu aba so-called middle class, you'll find abantu aba so-called poor. There's no magical fountain imali lapha ukuthi manje you know. But maybe another thing is just the way imali is supposed to be spent within our faith. This is participate, and I think because we don't participate in certain things, especially in this moshimani, you know, there's certain things in Jayama isn't this, I would call them extravagant and unnecessary. So you might find which you're in a better financial position because imali is spent on things that will uplift the community or ourselves or our immediate family unit. You know, so
we've got a very interesting social media coming in from Kabelo SK. Where is the beauty in Quran? I will cast terror into the hearts of those who disbelieve. They've thought, strike off their heads and strike off their fingertips off them. And it's from the book of Surah. I'm assuming it's a book. Surah 8, verse 12, right? And that's a very interesting because internationally, this perception, aeroplaning, Islam because you know the suicide bombers. You know, perhaps maybe my sister, you can comment on that social media.
Naginamthandaza phokwana. Okay, so welcome Thabo. The kore Islam iliyona fela means it's wa holinzwe salam lehlalo sam peace. So Islam is a religion of peace. Hangata batho ba tla ba hlahisa ntonyana e nyane e sesanyane e leng hore Quran ha ino ngolwa ho nona le ntho tsene di etsahala ka nako e bophelong bo ka nako e. So no jenana in South Africa we preaching every time hore Islam is a religion of peace. Ha hona mohlang ke tlo bomang ha o le makhelwane wa ka be safe e ba hantle fela. So Islam is a religion of peace. Hore na aya eo e ngotswe ning jwang ya Quran ke kopa motho a tsamaye a batlisise pele hore na hono ho etsahala eng ga se ka ga bua dintho fela e le hore ha re tseba hore na hantle di tswa kae.
Okay, it's very interesting, guys. We're going to be going to an ad break. When we come back, we continue our conversation and wrap it up a little bit. So what have we understood from this entire conversation? Do stay with us after the break.
Welcome back to Daily Thetha. Namanje sakhuluma about black Muslims as in Africa, and what do you know and what can you teach us as well? So much sisitholile, including the verses kade sitholile lapha, but I believe Uputum Togozisi, you have something to say about the verse and the comment on social media?
Yes, so that is a very interesting verse that was actually just, thrown out, or maybe the question based on that verse, because a lot of misunderstandings actually come from similar quotations of the Quran. So basically, that is what is happening here. We find that verses such as these are actually taken out of context, and then they're given, people give them their own meaning, or maybe you find that the person just understands them from the literal sense. But when you go to the context,
explain to us, please.
Yeah, so when you go to the context of the verse, you find that that verse actually was a verse that was more of instilling self-determination on the Muslims. When you understand that at the time the Muslims were being oppressed, the Muslims were people who were more on the side of always being defending themselves. And then God now, or the revelation of the verse comes as that I'll be on your aid, and I'll strike terror on them. And a similar example, I'd just like to give a quick example on this. A similar example of this is like, the songs of the struggle songs that you find in the 70s and 80s. You find that a lot of those songs, when they are sung today in South Africa, when those songs are sung today, you find that people could misinterpret them or maybe misunderstand them as songs of, hate speech against a certain race of individuals. But when you go back to the context and you go back to the history, you find that these actually were songs of self-determination. These were songs that used to mobilize the people and used to encourage the people to be steadfast and be strong and be firm, and as they go forward and not lose hope.
Cool. Let's go back to your side, Nicolette.
Tapelo, I know you also wanted to respond.
Yes, absolutely. Just to augment on what my brother has said here, I won't elaborate further. Our constitution in South Africa, under subsection 31, right? It protects the rights of every religion. Yes. We understand. So the context, the person who has quoted that verse, we quoted it out of context, because even if but I remember when you are in that context of the days, those days, right? When you are more on a defense mode, that mode eventually tends to, when you eat grapes or when you keep grapes somewhere, right? How do you those grapes? They turn sour sometimes and they turn to vinegar. You understand? So when you are on a defense mode, eventually that defense mode tends to be an attacking mode.
I think also there's some interpretations in the Christian Bible that people always also take out of context, So I think I get the explanation that you guys are saying.
Let me check what's happening on social media. Bongwani Maxi Oti, yes, I'll convert to Muslim religion. I love and respect Muslims because of their behavior and philosophy. That's what he's saying. But Alex, you have a question. Your question, please.
My question is, the way you say that there's a way women are meant to dress in a respectful manner. So I was wondering, is that open to interpretation? Because you'll see there are some African countries where the women don't wear veils. Maybe they just wear, they wear clothes that cover them. Maybe like they wear long things, trousers, but they don't wear like the veil. And another question I wanted to ask, because of I wanted to know if this is a misconception or it's true. Like if you're married, is it true it's only the man who can grant the divorce, or how does it work?
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. I'll mostly answer the second question. So in terms of divorce in Islam, it gives the first priority to the men, that men can divorce the woman. But women can also ask for divorce from their husbands. So there's a word called khulu'. It's like a means where a woman herself can actually take herself away from the husband in case the husband does not give the divorce. So it's both ways.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's quickly go on a caller right now. On Ukelebohila from Soweto. Welcome to Eat Daily Thetha.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you all in the studio? I'm calling from Soweto and I work in a Indian Muslim dominated area. And each challenge me is every day I come across Indian brothers and Muslims who act or behave as if maybe I'm not fit to be a Muslim. They would see me wearing my hijab and they would say, "Hello, are you Muslim? Are you sure? What is your name?" And I would be like, and they would be like, "No, you don't have a Muslim name. How can you be a Muslim and be Kelebuhile?" And I'll be like, my Islam is in my heart. I love Allah. And I have taqwa for Allah. I praise Allah. So it doesn't make me any less of a Muslim because I'm a black person. As long as I practice a religion the same way the other person practices their religion. Because remember, when you're Muslim, we only follow the Quran. It's only one book. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, purple, or whatever color that you are.
Okay,
so in South Africa, we still experience such things, and I believe that so much still needs to be done so that Islam is recognized as a religion.
And we are getting your point as well. Maybe it's not dinner as well. Maybe now you find people asking you, why are you dinner Muslim?
You know, when I first embraced Islam, I took on a name, Arabic name, because that was what I was told, which you have to take on an Arabic name until I learned further, Atiya. But I feel like Ikamalam Udineo is now a declaration. I am black and I'm South African, I am a Muslim. So when I introduce myself as that, we start to have conversations with people of other races and cultures. Why don't you have a Muslim name? And then you answer, no. Then I ask the question back, but what is a Muslim name? You know, you do find experiences where people sort of feel like we are visitors of this faith. You constantly have to explain yourself. You're constantly having to prove that you belong in this religion, you understand? And because we're still a so-called the minority, you still find that people feel that, or people of other races feel that you're not worthy enough just because of the color of your skin to practice the religion.
You know, as you're answering this question, now, what would you like to see change? So what's the future of black Muslims within the context of just society? What would you like going forward?
For ourselves or for the whole Muslim community? For the whole Muslim community.
Or perhaps for women.
For women?
Yes.
What would I like to
see going forward? So all these problems that you're talking about, then they question that. Would you like to see that change? What would you like people to know and get an understanding of?
I just feel like we, as women, we need to educate ourselves more about our faith so that we can be equipped enough to answer certain questions, but also be in a position where we don't feel like we constantly need to explain ourselves. We're living in a country where everybody has a freedom of speech and expression, and people also have to take on the since they're curious enough, take on the responsibility to learn the faith yourself. You know?
And after what happened Ottawa akasabi we are Moscow or ezinye zezinto zibesibheke so bona ngelinga siyabonga kakhulu guys and kusasa yabuye Daily Thetha sikhuluma ngento ebalekile kusasa Nicolette sikhuluma ngani mama?
Yes, we are going to be talking about children who are born in South Africa but they've got foreign parents. Now what are their experiences? But thank you very much for tuning in. Remember, conversation on all our social media pages.
Thank you, Saba.